And we are live on the Uncensored Entrepreneurs. We're so excited to just kind of dive in again. It's been a while through the holidays, so we took a little break. We hope that you took a little break as well, spending some time with your family and friends. Today, we're going to talk about adapting your business as your journey as an entrepreneur continues to evolve. We know that going into the new year, you reflect on the past. There's a lot of adaptation along the way. And here's the thing, in business, things continuously evolve. And so it's all about just making sure that you know how to pivot and what tools and processes you have in place to be able to do so. Because here's the thing, at the end of the day, as an entrepreneur, you do not want to be left behind. So it's inevitable that you will have to change. We'll see you on the inside.
Happy New Year, you guys. Okay, but I just want to start off by saying, first of all, Tina, I know your birthday is a big deal. Happy birthday. You have some big news to share with people that happened over the holidays.
I do have some big
news. Talk about, adapting with change, right? You have a big change in your life.
I do have a big change. So for the last 10 months, I have found the love of my life.
You're still so giddy. It's the best.
Oh, it's funny. So we've been friends for 10 years and we've been dating for 10 months. So after 10 months and 10 years of dating, we got engaged. Christmas Eve, because he didn't want to take away from any other holiday. So it's a big, huge week for like my whole family. So it's Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. My son's birthday is the 28th. My birthday is the 30th. New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. So it's like a big. And so on Christmas Eve, he came on the 23rd, and on Christmas Eve, he was like, "Oh, let's go take pictures in Kennesaw Mountain." And I'm like, "Okay." And then he was like, "Oh, we should go, at sunset, And he was like, I'm like, "Okay, we can go at sunset." And then the morning of, he was like, "I think we should go now."
I was getting nervous.
You're like, what's the rush? Like, why are you pressing me?
So we go.
If Ryan ever asked me to go take sunset pictures, I'd be like, what the hell is going on?
I was oblivious. I kind of thought something, and like I was talking to my last girl, and she was like, "Girl, do you think he's gonna propose?" I said, I think he might, because there's a lot of things that he keeps telling me, like, it's gonna be the best Christmas ever. It's gonna go down in history. Yada yada. I'm like, okay. So we go to Kennesaw Mountain, and it's like a mountain that you can either hike up, walk up, or drive up. So we were gonna, of course, drive up because Tina tours don't hike nothing. And so the thing was, it was so cold at night. I mean, that night before, and so the drive up was closed. You couldn't drive up. And he started like freaking out a little bit, and I just didn't like see that piece. He's like, okay, where can we go? So he like drove me around to like this field area, and I thought we were gonna go take pictures in the field. And we start going through the field and into the woods. I'm like, hold on. And I was like, let me just make sure that everybody on Facebook knows that I'm going into the woods in case I don't come out.
I mean, you knew him well enough, right? But still, it was
because he was secretive. So we go into the woods, like this wooded area, and he's like, "Oh, I found a stump. I can put the phone in, and we can take pictures." I'm like, "Okay." So he puts the phone down, and he has an Android phone, so he has this little like remote for his camera. And he's like, okay, let's take some pictures. Go this way and go this way. And then he starts looking at me and he goes, you know, I love you, right? I went, what? And he's like picking lint off my sweater and fixing my earrings and like fixing my necklace and like doing all this. I'm like, what are you doing?
Wow.
And then he gets in, he's like, because we're like on a slope almost. So he's like holding on to me as he gets on a knee. And like I told him last night, I'm like, I don't remember what you said. And he goes, don't worry about it. He goes, I had like 1,000 things I was going to say, and I don't even know anything came out. He was like, it just kept coming out different ways. So he got on a knee. He proposed. He was like, you know, after 10 years of friendship and 10 months of dating, you know, you're the love of my life. I don't want to be with anybody else but you. And I said yes. So we are engaged, and wedding planning is stressful already.
We need to go live.
Where do I start?
Highly recommend a destination wedding.
We're hugely thinking about a destination wedding, but that means that half the people that we want to come.
That's why I suggested.
How about? Hint.
Right, that is true. So we don't know for sure or not. We were hugely thinking about a destination wedding, but I think we might just stay here in Atlanta. But we do have a date. It's April of 2025.
Okay. Nice.
April 16th, because that's the day we started like officially talking.
Oh,
That's the day he asked me on a napkin, like, would you go out with me and be my girlfriend? Yes, no, and maybe.
That's so cute.
And I have the napkin and everything still. It's so cute. So we had Christmas together. We, went to church and did all that stuff. Spent my birthday together. And do you know that on your birthday, you can get so many free items? And it's not even funny. So we literally went around and got a nothing bundt cake, a dozen donuts from Krispy Kreme, a sandwich here, a sandwich there, free items at Ulta, free items at Sephora, like all the free things. And we went shopping and did all that. He had a birthday cake, and it was a very nice holiday. All the holidays together were all very nice. Yeah. And I am officially engaged.
Awesome. Congratulations. That is super exciting.
It is very exciting.
And a perfect time, right? Because, I mean, you already were celebrating end of year, your birthday month, everything kind of just perfectly came together. And what a perfect, way for him to hide most of that, right? Because you're already celebrating your birthday anyway. So it was a perfect time to propose.
And the poor guy, he said that ring was burning a hole in my pocket. He's like, I don't know how I wasn't able to do it.
You know what? I think that they should have to go through the stress of that. If we have to have babies, they have to go through the stress of that.
That was the most stressful. I said, I think you should ask me to marry you every month until we. Hell no, because that was stressful.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, definitely don't take away from that.
It was stressful because you knew I was going to say yes. He goes, I didn't know that. You might have been like, oh, it's too early. It's too soon. Let's wait. Because I just kept thinking about all the things that could happen.
That's awesome. Sometimes you know what, when you know, it's not about the timeline per se.
Yeah,
and
he's happy. We're excited, and
we're happy for you.
So get ready, guys, because you're all coming to the wedding.
We've got so many amazing things happening this year. We've got babies being born soon. We have, all right. So Christina, when's the date again?
February 22nd. My doula's like, just tell people February because they're going to ask you every single day. But February 22nd. We're hoping he comes a little early.
Middle to end of February.
Here on the show. So keep on watching here on Uncensored Entrepreneurs because we might have a live baby.
I won't do that to you.
Who knows? We might have a wedding. You're on here too.
Hey, you know what? I'm down with that. And by the way, Tina, you just said the wedding may be in Atlanta, which I think is awesome because Atlanta is it's an amazing place. I was just there, right? I was there for the bowl game. I am sorry. We were on a very tight schedule. Couldn't come see you. But we had someone to watch the kids just for one night. And so we had it all planned out. We went to the bowl game. as many of you may or may not know, I'm married to a Penn State alumni, so it was like right in her element. It's it's on that bucket list. We checked it off, having a bowl game so close, but we lost, unfortunately. My team won. Michigan won on Monday. So I was real excited about that. We're going to the
I'm
finals.
waiting for the shoe to come flying over to you. And
Yeah. But anyways, it was awesome. And the reason I'm even bringing that up is Atlanta is a great place. Most people just aren't really sure about the landscape of Atlanta, and it's big city and where do you go? But I mean, I've been there many, many times. I've done a lot of business in Atlanta. And if you know the right spots, the right area, it just caters to everything. And so that would be an interesting it would still be a destination wedding, because anyone coming into town would have plenty of places to stay, plenty of things to do, and we could have our own after party, while you guys go off on your own after party as well. So anyways.
And there won't be no other babies over here on this.
No more babies.
Oh, she'll already have a 1-year-old by then, so we're good. We're good to go.
And listen, Christina, your mother, she just popped on here, but your mother sent me the sweetest message after I got engaged, and it just like literally made me cry, because I don't want to talk to my family. So it's she's like my mom.
She is like all my good parts are from her. Like, they really are.
From
where my bad parts from, I can't say that out loud. No, it's really interesting. She is the most thoughtful, kind person I have ever met. She was a home care nurse, and she's like one of those people that when you get into nursing and do what she did for 20 years, it takes a very special human to treat other people that way, and she's absolutely that.
Absolutely.
So thank you, Cheryl, because
Mom.
That's
a
right.
lot for me.
Yes.
But
Absolutely.
today we're talking about
Let's get into our topic.
Transition.
Today we're talking about how to pivot your business and how to change with the economy and how to change with the times. And we were just talking because I was drinking out of my beautiful, wonderful pink Stanley cup.
Oh my goodness! Oh, just so everyone knows, that was $50, right?
Yeah, $50.
$50. You can get your uncensored entrepreneur Stanley Cup knockoff for only $45.
$39.95. But wait, if you act now,
we'll throw in. Tina will sign it for you.
Oh my God. Great story. Go ahead, Tina, about the Stanley Cup.
Tina, you said that Stanley Cup has been around for 100 years.
Yeah.
It's been a long time.
I think I'd seen a Stanley like thermos or something.
My dad had a lunch kit and thermos, like one of those silver lunch kits and thermoses that you
It was the thermos initially. Yeah, it was those lunch thermoses.
And
maybe it wasn't the lunch kit. I don't know.
So they created these amazing little tumblers with a handle and all the kind of stuff, and made it
fit in your car. That fit in your car, right? Like the bottom fits in the car.
It fits in your car, and then made it pink, and then had a couple other colors, and they're like skyrocketing.
Yes.
So
hundreds of millions of dollars. Yeah. Because they pivoted.
Yeah, absolutely.
Audience.
And so that is a perfect example, right? You're in business for so many years, and you can kind of, when you've been in business for a while, you find yourself eventually in kind of this red ocean, because everyone's doing what you're doing, especially when it comes to like, if you have any type of trademarks or patents on things, then obviously it's pretty exclusive for a few years. But once those things fall off, right, then everyone's doing it. It's the same thing, right? The thermos cup in general, it was patented, what is it, 11, 12 years ago now, in regards to that. And now everyone's selling some version of that. Yeah. But right, so they pivoted. And so we're going to be talking a lot about this adaptation to your business. Each and every one of us are continuously doing that. I mean, obviously the new year is a perfect time to kind of reflect back and do that, but we're typically doing that like week to week, month to month. We test things continuously. So we'll be talking a little bit about that as well. And when you do test in the market, if things don't work out, right, then you have to make some changes along the way, unless you're just happy staying where you're staying. But typically that's where you do not see growth. And so with adaptation, with changing, with pivoting, that's where you start to see, you fall into your groove, you start to see some increase in profits and other things. So let's talk a little bit about just that in general. I mean, what have you done in the last year that you really, realize and recognize that you had to pivot and change?
I think a lot of it is with marketing. Like marketing and selling online has completely been different. Christina, I remember, I think it was right before we went on vacation that you said that it takes longer for people to want to buy from you now than it used to. Used to, they'll buy from you 1 or 2 times after they see you, even for a $47 price. But now it's taking so much longer because everybody has those $47 prices and everybody is showing you this and everybody is having this free calendar and a free marketing this and a free this and and so what do you choose?
Yeah, I think that's an important thing to address. And, you hear the example of Blockbuster, right? Blockbuster was the movie rental place, and then Netflix came along, and Blockbuster actually had the opportunity to purchase Netflix, right? And they didn't. They're like, that's a dumb idea, right? And that was the very thing that put them out of business because they didn't have that forward thinking. Same with Kodak Film, right?
Redbox too that they had first.
They had, yeah, exactly. And
well, so Redbox was a major scale, right? It was like, why have overhead and all this real estate that you have to manage, control, and pay for when you can scale down and you can rent spaces?
Well, look at Airbnb, look at Uber, look at all of these companies that in a recession started a business that absolutely exploded because they saw the future problem and solved that problem instead of solving problems from the past. And so, yes, things change, and like it'll change again, by the way, like 3 to 4 times again this year, people's buying habits. But we had a captive audience in 2020, right? When everyone was at home, couldn't go anywhere, just use a little bit of retail therapy, click and buy, and it makes you feel better, right? But now, because of all the noise, because of how things are utilized, I'll even like talk a little bit about network marketing that we're all a huge, big fan of. That industry is going through a massive transformation because now there's digital marketing, affiliate marketing. You can set up an Amazon shop or a Shopify store or go on Etsy. And there's all of these other options that were not there 8 years ago when I got into online sales and marketing, right? So all of this other competition, and really what it comes down to, and what I've been like screaming from the rooftop to people, is building a personal brand that you become a category of one.
Yes,
absolutely.
That's what it comes down to.
I love that category of one. I mean, it's so true. It's the one thing that remains fairly constant.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes your audience changes as you evolve and change, right? Because yesterday's story is different a week from now. But ultimately, when you connect with the right audience in your tribe, I mean, they're connecting with you not because of great products and services. Some of those things obviously stand on their own based on reviews and other things and functionality in their lives, but it's really you. It's how they connected with you and how they really built that know, like, and trust factor along the way. And so
hopefully you won't change too much. So, people buy you, people buy who you are, what you represent, what your mission is, what you strive to be, who you are. So as long as you don't change too much, people are still going to buy from you. But you also have to make sure that you have a clear, I just read something today. I was like, make sure you have a clear growth strategy. Like no matter what happens, like wherever the market takes you.
Yep, absolutely. It comes with that personal value proposition, right? And what's interesting about that, when you talk about changing too much, what I love is when you're truly connected with the right audience. And that's why we spend a lot of time doing that. I mean, we continuously adapt and evolve that audience along the way, right? Because we're trying to find the best fit. We're trying to find those that we're truly serving and making a huge impact and change in their lives as well. But, as you're growing and changing, they're evolving with you. Yeah. And so that's the really cool thing about what we're talking about. It's not about just selling a product that, they just remain stagnant with. Like as you continue to grow, adapt, evolve, just like the big box people, our audience, our clients, they continue to kind of grow and adapt with us. And really, if we're doing it effectively, especially in the world of coaching or network marketing, as you said, Christina, as well, because those are things that we'll always be plugging in new products and services along the way, right? It isn't just kind of a one and done. None of us, and again, I'm kind of just speaking as a conglomerate, none of us are looking to just sell someone on a one-off. We're really looking to make a large impact. And so in order to do that, again, whatever it is that we're doing today, as I continue to grow and evolve, then that's going to, that trickle down effect, and they're going to grow and evolve with me. So,
I want
is just having one product. And they'll be like, just have one high ticket, and that's the only thing you sell. And I've always been opposed to that. They've been saying that, and there's still coaches who believe in that. But I really believe in diversifying your business from your products, your marketing platforms. I've been a huge, Facebook person, but I've even been having my clients choose a secondary platform for marketing purposes.
Yep.
You have low ticket offers. You should definitely have your high ticket offer, but what else can you add to your business so that you have additional streams of income and revenue coming into the business? Are there other products or services, technology that you can offer to your clients so that you can bring in those extra income streams?
Yeah. Can I I want to also bring a little bit of clarity to this conversation, because this is because we talk about don't change too much. And I think, Tina, what you mean by this is like, don't sell one thing one day and then the next thing the next day. And you're selling yoga pants one day, and then you're selling, you're selling gold and silver the next day, and then you're selling
and health and wellness the next day. It's okay if you keep it all in the same.
Related.
Sure. Right. When you serve your audience, right? Like that, we always say amateurs sell products to people. Professionals know the group of people that they help, and they create products and services for those people. But the truth is, you will evolve as an entrepreneur.
Exactly.
You will grow and you will change, and your skill level gets higher, and you end up creating new products and services to meet your audience where they're at. And so, like Star said, if you have a high ticket, coaching program or a high ticket price of something that you sell, maybe you sell a water filtration system or whatever it is, and it's like $5,000, $10,000, $30,000. If that's all you offer and aren't understanding the marketplace right now and what your audience is doing and what they're purchasing and what their needs are, then you're missing out on connecting and building relationships with people who may buy those services later in the end because they're needed then. But what do they need right now? Like, what is an absolute necessity to them right now? And how can you serve them right now if that's not something that they can do?
And one of the questions that you can ask your clients or potential clients is, what problems are you trying to solve, and how are you uniquely positioned to solve them?
That's it.
Christina,
that's it. Problem solving is the key.
Yeah, you sent me that. You asked me that question many months ago. What does your target market need? And I was able to adapt and create such coaching programs and stuff like that for them. But creating that email and sending that out to people to say, what is it that you need? What can I help you with? What is it that I can create for you that's going to help you solve this? They're going to tell you what they need. They're going to tell you what they want. They're going to tell you what they need if you just keep on asking those questions.
By the way, go ahead. Go ahead, Star.
I was just going to say, to piggyback on that relationship building piece, Robert, you asked, what changes have we made in our own business? I would never get on a call for a 1K or 2K offer because they would just sell, right? But now I have gotten on calls for 2K offers, and it was very easy for me to convert them, but they still needed that connection point with me and to really, tap into feeling me out, right? If that makes sense. And so just really looking at your business and tracking what's happening, you might have to make shifts and be a little bit more attentive to that relationship building piece versus just, hey, post and buy, or watch me live and buy.
That's why I love discovery calls. I mean, I know not everyone spends the time to do this, right? We do know successful, people in the industry, entrepreneurs, that they just have this boxed package and it's what they sell. I'm all about the discovery, because I realize that if I'm coming into this conversation to solve an actual, a need, it may not even be what I can offer, right? And so that's that's typically why I'm all about collaboration too. And so that I can plug them in to some other people or maybe JV partners. If I go into a call without any idea of, this is what I'm going to sell them, then it allows me to truly hear what their problem is and to understand, okay, these are some ways. Yeah, these are some ways that we can actually solve this problem. Too many coaches in this space today, unfortunately, and I know this because I've inherited some of them a long time or over time, that come in and it's like they were told by a coach, you sell a $10,000 package or nothing. you sell a $199 package or nothing. And I found that it's good to offer all of those things, or none of those things, quite frankly. You know what I mean? So it's, you know, but it really is all about that discovery call, finding out what their needs are, how you can truly solve their needs. And then the results speak for themselves, right?
Yeah.
And that's one of the biggest things that I see.
Yeah.
But with that being said, one thing that I believe both of you, Tina and Star, you kind of both touched base on this. I found that like the best way to adapt and pivot along the way is also just to ask your customers, like continuously probing and surveying them is a great way. So I don't know if any of you do that. I do.
Ask them what you have going on for 2024. What's coming up? What's going to happen? And that way you can help them either launch their new product or help them market their new product or help them create a 6-figure launch or whatever it is. I want to ask you guys, do you guys have sales teams or do you guys do your own discovery call?
Oh, this is so good because I'm just going through this. Oh my God. So I, for the last year, have been looking to outsource that. And what I've realized over the last year by trying multiple different things, like it literally is failing forward. Just so everybody knows, it is, it's one of those things. And so by trying multiple different things, I realized that not only in this marketplace do people want to connect with me, they don't want to connect with my team, they want to connect with me, but I also have to add way more value. So I do long workshops that are all for free. And like you were saying, Robert, you do a discovery call. I've offered 30-minute free business audits. And so I'm talking to people directly about their business specifically, because right now in the marketplace, I saw the gap. I saw people were putting out courses after course after course that people could watch, but it wasn't actually addressing the problem of individual businesses. And what they wanted was a one-on-one conversation about how they could move forward. And so I created that.
Expert.
Yes, from an expert that could actually help them in that process and give them ideas on how, like, if you can just give somebody 1 or 2 things to move forward with. First of all, most people are scared to give away too much value or scared to give away something too good. I don't believe in that. I think you should give it all away for free, because what's going to happen is they're going to come back. Not only are they going to get fast results, they're going to come back and they're going to honor the fact that you did that for them. Often people ask if they can pay me. And then the third piece is they are also going to need the accountability and the help along the way. So when they realize that as they go down the path and they, get a quick win here, okay, so now what's next? Well, I need to know what's next. So I got to go back to her and ask what's next. Okay, well, here's a program that'll be the great fit for you. Now I can hold you accountable and we can do it together.
And then you're asking those probing questions and you're going to guide them. Okay, you know what? You probably aren't ready for this program, but you are ready for this program. And Christina, just to let you know, we did not pass you by. You just been accepted for win some award. Didn't you just
Yeah, I just got honored by the International Association of Top Professionals in the U.S. It's a company there, but it's global. And it's pretty cool. So, and here's what I'm talking about is like becoming a category of 1. So this last couple of years has been really uncomfortable for us because I've been transitioning into a new role and not only a new role in our family, but like a new role in business as I've evolved. And so now to be recognized as a business freedom leader, category of 1, right? I created that. I'm the person that they know to come to. And if you know the organization, you know the type of people that are in that organization, it is so in alignment with them because they are world changers. They are thought leaders. They are people that are making moves. And one of the things that I really like about that organization, I'm sorry, I won't talk about this for much longer, but one of the things I really like about that organization, because you guys all know that like you can go pay and be a top 10 coach on Yahoo Finance or whatever. And that happened a couple of years ago that somebody came and offered me that. And I said, this doesn't feel good. I didn't earn it. Like they just want me to pay $700 and all of a sudden I'm on this list. I was like, I don't want to do that. And my mentor at the time, she said, when you earn it, it'll feel right. Yeah. And this organization, you have to be nominated. You have to be somebody that is invited in. You cannot pay for it. And so I was like, this is finally, it took 2 more years. Right. And this is what I want to tell you. Don't give up on the dream. Don't give up on the vision, on the through line. Keep doing it because eventually you will be recognized for that work.
Yeah.
Consistency, right?
Yes.
I mean, that's the key to everything. I think each one of us would
agree.
agree.
For 2024 is consistency.
Oh, without a doubt.
Right.
There was a study that was done last year, and I'm trying to think of oh my gosh. All right. His name will come to me in a moment. In fact, I'll look it up when someone else talks in a moment, because I think it was key. He made one single post, basically this prompting question about, does God exist? Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Cap.
No.
Cap. That's his name. Cap. I can't think of. All right. Anyway. All right. I'm going to continue on. Look. What's that? Yeah. All right. I'll bring it up in a moment, because it's fascinating. Simple question. No, not a lot of responses. He asked that question every single day and posts across all of social media, consistently asking this question. And then when people would engage, he would engage back with them. Similar to like your technique, Christina, right? When you open up these questions, you're going to get, haters. You're going to get people that are all, our supporters, fans as well. And you continue to engage with all of them. He continued to do this. And he built over 1 million followers in that first year. And so it's fascinating that he had from one question, but it was all about the consistency, and not just the consistency, but responding and interacting with that audience along the way. And he learned a lot, right? And now, of course, he's continued to grow since then. But it is all about those little things. It's the little things that you continuously do. And what stops most entrepreneurs is that they try something once and they get zero results, so they quit immediately. And most people I found quit, in that 9th, 10th, and 11th hour, right before they would experience some type of breakthrough. But it's just because they become discouraged, and so they quit. But if you believe in something wholeheartedly, continue to plug in, continue to do that. Don't worry about how many followers you have. Don't worry about the interactions to your posts. Most of that is all about algorithm anyways. And you will find the right audience as you continue to pursue that.
Just right on there that you're engaged, you'll get 500 comments. I mean,
get engaged every day and see what happens.
I did a story about that on Tuesday, Robert, because although we're talking about adapting, a lot of people are like, okay, this isn't working. Let me listen to this Uncensored Entrepreneurs and adapt. But sometimes it's just a simple fact that you've implemented a strategy, and all the strategies can actually work, but you need to refine your process. There could be something that you did wrong throughout this specific strategy. Maybe you're in front of the wrong audience. Maybe you didn't connect well with them. Maybe your messaging was off. Maybe you didn't promote long enough. Yep. And I see so many do this. It's like, for example, they'll do like a live launch and say, nobody likes me, nobody bought from me. Literally, that's your first live launch. It's like a test, right?
Like it's going to take 20 at least to get good, and that's, Star, I'm so happy that you said that, because really what it comes down to, if you want to make millions, you need to master one thing. One thing, stand for that one thing, and learn how to say it a whole bunch of different ways. Learn how to have clear communication with people, and learn how to evolve and speak the language of your audience. Because a lot of us are experts, right? We're experts in what we do. And so when we put posts out there, they come across as an expert, and we're not actually speaking to people's pain points, right? So like people, I'll give you an example. People might say, okay, I want to lose weight. And then really all they want is in 2 months when they go on holidays, they want to look good in a bathing suit. Like that's what they want. And you're going out there and you're talking about gut health in your post, and you're talking about how to drink, more water. And you're doing all these things that are necessary for that weight loss, right, but you're not speaking to looking good in a bathing suit, or like, hey, maybe you want to start a new year with health or whatever it is. You have to speak their language versus your area of expertise.
Yes.
So speaking of adapting your business, you also have to adapt and evolve your audience along the way as well. And I know that sounds fairly crazy, but I just did an audit 2 months ago with a new client that had a major did you all hear that?
What is that?
All right. Anyway, I'll let you keep going with that. Whatever that baby is doing over there, Christina. Right. Anyways.
Wait a second, let me defend myself. They're like doing some sort of moving of furniture upstairs, okay?
It sounded like furniture moving.
All right.
Thank you, Star.
Yeah, exactly.
He's moving.
I blamed it on the baby. I just blamed it on the baby, but anyways, someone your mother said sounded like a hummingbird. Yeah.
Thanks, Mom.
She's being way too kind. She's being way too kind.
My girl.
Yeah.
It's
So,
like a hummingbird.
but for instance, so we did an audit on their business, right? And they were very successful in a network marketing business 5 years ago. And it happened to be travel, right? Like many of us were involved in that industry prior to COVID, and then the entire landscape changed. The thing is, now they're in health and wellness, and they're speaking to the same exact audience. And so the idea was, hey, I've built a huge following and I've been successful with network marketing. I've changed the product. I've plugged it in. I'm not getting the same results. You have to continue to evolve and adapt. Some of those people will be fans for life, but more than likely you're speaking to the wrong audience when you're speaking to the ones that just love to travel. Maybe they're, health and wellness just doesn't intrigue them, or they're not in that mindset of that's the space or the product or service that they're interested in. And so you have to continue to evolve and adapt with that. Same thing with your posts along the way. Same thing with the platforms. And again, don't get discouraged. I want to say, when it comes to social media, it is all about this algo. You really have to understand the algorithm, and it takes time. I typically get a lot of responses. This last month, I had some personal things going on in my life with my family, and I stopped posting for a while. Or if I did, it happened to do with something, to do with family. And so I saw a huge kind of decline this last month in business engagement. And of course, then you start putting posts out there again on business, and you see like 1, 2, 3 people that actually look and engage with it. And you're going, wow, should I quit? Or is it just because the algorithm needs to continue to adapt and to build up, right? They're looking for consistency with whatever your message is.
I think you always need to be a step ahead of things. Like you always need to look at the trends that are coming up. And it's said to be proactive and not reactive. So,
yeah, do it before it's popular, right? Like you want to say it before it's popular. I remember my mom, when I first got into network marketing, was the only one that liked my product posts for a year, right? Like nobody was speaking my language. I wasn't speaking my language. I was copying stuff from other people. But
live, and she's like, "Hey, everybody!" And it's her mom.
It's my mom. It was 100%. It was my mom. But you know what? I was the person that stuck with it time in, like day in, day out. And that's the same thing. I remember Ray Higdon telling this story. He was like the top earner at his company. And when he left that and decided to get into coaching, he went backwards 2 years. Like he was like at the top of the world, making all this money. And then all of a sudden he's like, I need to pivot. Matthew McConaughey did the same thing. He turned down $14 million because he got sick and tired of doing rom-coms and didn't want to be known for that. So if you are somebody that is evolving your audience and evolving your level of service, there will be a time, and I know this all the time, when I'm posting about, baby or family, I get all these likes. But when I start posting about where I'm going and who I'm taking with me, that doesn't get the engagement that used to get the engagement before, because it's a different audience. And you have to be so convicted in your beliefs and the results that you produce for others that you do not give a shit about vanity metrics. You don't care how many people like your post. You keep showing up, because people will recognize you and will notice you eventually as you continue to be consistent. But it's more so having a voice that you can stand behind, showing your value, showing your belief system. We can't hide behind vanilla anymore. We can't hide behind memes and this and that. People need to get who you are in building a brand. And that is a long-term commitment. I'm just listening to another one of Gary Vee's books, Crush It. And that was written in 2018. I've listened to a couple of his books over the holidays. And it's just like, do you understand the evolution that he's gone through to create what he has?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so many people, and so many times people have told him that he won't be successful heading down this path. Or, don't stop what you're doing.
Cursing, stop doing this. You're too evasive. You're too this, you're too that. And he still works. But speaking of Ray Higdon, he goes live every single morning at 8 o'clock.
Consistency.
Every single, even on Christmas Day, he went live. On New Year's
for
Day.
like 14 years.
It's
that's commitment. Okay.
Yeah.
He even tried to go live when he was in where was he at? Like over
Israel.
There. Israel. He was going live even then when they weren't supposed to be on.
When nobody was supposed to know where he was so they could get home, right? And that's commitment. That's like, that is the top 1% of the 1%. And if you want to build something of significance, not to say that you can't go out and make a few $100,000 building a business and creating that, and there's nothing wrong with doing that. That's actually amazing for you to be able to create that kind of money out of your brainchild, your ideas, your, who you are. That's amazing. But if you want to create long-term sustainable success, you have to be willing to adapt to the market. You have to be willing to be a bit of a, like, not a chameleon in your personality, but a chameleon in your offer and how you state that offer, right? I saw somebody the other day, I actually hired his team to help me with some staffing issues. And he actually serves people in the health space. He's quite fit, and posted on social media. And I was laughing because he's like, if you want to post these cringe-worthy vacation pictures, if you want to start doing this, right, here's how you save money losing weight. And then he listed 3 things that were like hilarious. He's like, you could wash your clothes on your abs. Then you don't have to, like, then you don't have to buy laundry detergent, or like, it was like really funny stuff. But it's like how he came across that way, as opposed to not being one of those like selfie people, that like are just posting pictures of their ripped body, which, by the way, you worked really hard for that. But how are you going to market to your audience where they actually care? Right?
Yeah, absolutely. By the way, just real quick, because I don't want to downplay, his name is Cap Chatfield. And I wanted to have that on this podcast because Cap, if you hear this later on at any point in time,
we're going to tag you.
Sends this to you. We're going to have you on as a guest.
We're
going to have you on the show as a guest, just because I forgot your name for a moment there. But anyways, so just a little plug for Cap. He's done some amazing things in that space. Just talking about consistency and going from 0 followers all the way up to over 1 million. But
you have to watch your competition. So watch those people who are doing the exact same thing that you're doing.
Study them.
You might be not stealing. You might be
emulating
some things that they're going to be showing you, or courses that they're going to offer, or anything, because they're going through this. You're going through the same thing that you're going through. So watch those competition. Watch those people.
Again, to kind of circle back around with building your personal brand, why that should be one of the key components, regardless of what type of business you're in or to what type of audience that you're serving. When you do that, then really there is no competition in the end, right? There's most of us have some of the same products and services that we're offering, but it's really about your tribe. It's about the people that are connecting with you. And as you just said, Christina, the fact that he did something a little bit different, and that was more appealing to you than some other, fitness experts out there, right? Some of them are all selling the same exact kind of results at the end of the day, but it's who you really connect with. So don't forget that element. And that happens, by the way, with network marketing. The problem a lot of times is you aren't building that personal brand. You're just fully vested in the network marketing brand, the products and services. And so as that company shifts as well, it leaves you really hanging, right? We've seen this time and time again. Yeah. You have to be able to shift for that.
Now you're like, oh, you're not this no more now. And one of the biggest things in my life that I was a part of a network marketing company for so long, and I never told anybody what company it was. I was always Tina Torres, a gratitude specialist. And they would be like, oh my God, you know what company you should join? You should join this. And I'm like, oh, that's one of the tools I use. And they're like, oh, because I'd never led with the company name. I always led with my own brand and my own services that I added to it. It was just a tool that I use,
And if you could just teach that to people, right? It's so funny. I had a client this year who finally had the courage after 2 years to launch a personal brand. And I said, and then what happened? Oh, your network marketing business took off? Weird, right? Amazing. But you were so scared that it would be in competition. But the thing is, and this is what I've seen too, and I'm going to be really transparent, Star, and I know that I want to hear what you have to say about this as well. But when it comes to network marketing, what was really interesting is to see how people are continuing to train old school. Like, you need to sell, you need to sell, you need to sell, you need to reach out, you need to prospect, you need to prospect, you need to prospect.
first.
It's still the same shit, right? But when you look at the top earners in the company, they're teaching you to go out and message and message and message and message, but they've spent tens of thousands, if not $100,000 on building a personal brand. They have tons of freebies. They have all of the tech behind them. They've got AI. They've got a team of 7, right? They've got all these people that are working for them. And so people are looking at them like, I want to be like you. Well, they're not doing it what they're teaching people to do, right? And it's building a personal brand. That's how, and it's a lot of work. It's a long-term game. It's something that people have to go over and above. If you want to be a top earner, if you want to make that kind of money, you've got to be willing to do more than most people, because if you don't, you're going to make the $500 to $1,000 that you're promised in the beginning. And there's nothing wrong with that if that's what you want. But if you want more, you have to be willing to become more, right? You have to be willing to do more for others and become of more value to them, because it's just an energy exchange. Money is an energy exchange. The more value you are, the more money you make. Sorry, Star, I'd love to hear what your thoughts are on that.
No, yeah, definitely. For me, my thought that I wanted to talk about was people being afraid to sell or pivot because they're worried about what people may think. So it's like, oh, I've been selling this particular product. I don't want them to be mad at me if I now start selling this, or even being judged by their coach who told them to sell a product for a certain amount, but they actually feel aligned with doing something different. Whatever it is that you want to do, you have to feel confident about it. You have to be 100% behind it. And even if you have a fear of showing up, you're just going to have to take massive action. Like Christina said, you have to be consistent. You have to continuously show up. When people see me, they know Star Cod. They may not know, my specific some of them do know my products, but I can bring a new product to market and people are going to buy that from me because I'm serving them in a capacity of something that they have a need for in that specific moment, like we said earlier. But they also have that trust in the fact that I'm going to deliver something that they really need, and they've seen the work that I've done. So if you're not showing up and you're not being consistent and you're worried about what people think, nobody's ever going to buy from you.
Wow, so true. And so with that, I think it's almost a full circle when you talked in the very beginning, Christina, about that value add, about giving things away for free. I say, other than building your personal brand, the second thing that's going to help you in your business is to continue to educate. Educate. Whatever it is, whatever that value proposition is, whatever problem that you're solving, continue to let people know what are the trends in the market. Why are you doing what you're doing? And what are the results, of taking this kind of action? Because once again, it's products and services. We continuously, when I think I just did like a silly post on January 1st, and I said, yeah, one thing hasn't changed for sure. I think I received like a dozen spam phone calls, and I probably had 20 plus people pitching me in my messenger inbox, right? And so those things will continuously happen. So you rise above that. Don't just pitch products and services. Continue to educate, give the value, tell people why. They're going to engage with you, and they're more inclined when they're ready to buy, because people do like to buy, by the way. They just don't want to be told what to do. So they want it to be their decision.
Too.
Exactly, or sold to. Continue to educate them, and when they're ready, they'll actually come to you.
But not only educate them, you got to educate yourself too. You got to always learn more and more and more and more about what you do. And I think the one thing that you need to do is always have multiple streams of income, no matter what it is. You have products, you have affiliate marketing, you have JV partnerships, you have your high ticket, you have a group coaching program, you have a book, whatever it is, they are all residual income every single month that you will get. Passive income, residual income, affiliate marketing income, multiple streams of income. That way, if one thing falls off.
Exactly. And we've all heard this, right? Time and time again. How many streams of income does the average millionaire have?
7.
All right, exactly. I knew everyone would chime in with the same thing, but it's true, right? It's not just one thing. Even if their niche happens to be one thing, trust me when I say, someone that owns a car dealership, they're not just selling cars, right? They're selling warranties, they're selling other services, they're repairing cars, they're doing many other things in order to achieve those goals.
Well, and especially right now in today's marketplace, with everything evolving so quickly, I think having diversification is absolutely necessary. Whether you are somebody that is playing with the crypto world and this is going to be a very interesting year for that. This should be maybe a year that you look at an exit strategy as things absolutely boom, because there are things that are going on that are out of our control, right? But like, if you've got money invested in crypto and you've got money in gold and silver, and you also have learned that keeping money in the bank, like we were taught our entire lives by saving and not going to
Is
Starbucks,
losing money.
don't do that, right? Because that money doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything. Fiat currency is just paper, right? And so when you take the money that you have and you invest it in businesses where you get paid passively, or you can create passive income, that's how you create generational wealth. It's not because you invested in the stock market or invested in crypto or whatever it was. You bought hard assets that would pay you long term. And I think most people don't think that way because we've been raised, our education has taught us how to be employees. It's taught us how to follow the rules. It's taught us how to do all these other things. But you have to start looking at, what are the wealthy 1% doing? And you have to start emulating them, because we're all in the system. We can't change the system. So start playing by their rules.
Yeah.
So true.
Boom. And that is our show for today. We'll see you.
Drop the mic. Any other things in regards to kind of like adapting your business? One of the things that I'll just share, and then we can do a round robin as we close out, is that, and by the way, for those that are coming on and even listening later on to the recording, please add some ideas and things in the comments, or if you have questions or thoughts or things that have actually happened to you. We love actually reaching back out to people in response to those questions. But, for myself, I found that 2023 was a very unique year. Number one, it was the full year of coming out of the pandemic, if you will, and so much shifted along the way. We had people that were always high ticket sellers that were saying, "Oh, low ticket now has to happen." We had people that were always low ticket that said high ticket is the way to go. And you see the trends. You see, the things on Instagram and TikTok that tell you this is the only way. And I've found that it still is. It's still kind of a mix, right? It's, again, based on your audience, but you have to be able to serve them in different ways. And so for me, coming into this year, and I'm just throwing it out there, take it for what it is. It may be different for you. I'm starting to automate some of my low ticket stuff a little bit more to cater to those that are just still trying to figure things out, that are in that kind of education process, and they want to sample and start building things along the way, building their brand, for instance. And then the low ticket, I'm putting all of my own personal energy into having those one-on-ones to be able to really focus on, just a handful of high ticket clients that I can really serve and spend 75% of my week in doing so. But that's just me. And I know it's different for everyone. A lot of other people are outsourcing a lot more. So I'm looking at that. And I think a few of you had mentioned that as well, as far as testing that out. I've also found that a lot of other people can't close the same way that I can close my own products and services.
That's right.
So that's why I'm spending more time on that end, and then allowing them to do more clerical things.
Yeah.
I think that those conversations need to be had by us these days. And I also believe that you have to integrate some sort of AI into your business, some sort of, chat bot or whatever it is, because if you don't, you can't compete, right? Like I told this story on my podcast a couple of days ago, and I was like, people are out there in MLM, or they're selling their own product or service. And I was in a Clubhouse room once, and this woman said, well, I did $1 million on Facebook last month. I sold $1 million of product. Then she went on to say, I did $500,000 worth of ads.
Wow.
So you're competing. If you're not sitting there building a personal brand and building relationships with people, you are competing with her, who is spending $500,000 a month on ads, right? You can't compete with that if you don't adapt to the current situation and you don't start to branch out and reach out to more people and have more conversations. You have to know exactly where your time is well spent and where you can produce the most results. And also, you can't automate yourself out of your business. Like there's no automating as much as people want to do it and want to have that.
Exactly.
It is not possible, and you'll lose your audience. It takes all this time to build a reputation with people, and you can lose it in an instant. And I even got some feedback on one of my masterminds yesterday because she said, I got a message from you and it didn't seem like you and da 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 da. And I was like, thank you for that feedback. Now I've got to go and switch the process, because I don't ever want people to feel like they're not able to connect with me, or they're not able to have a conversation with me, or that they're talking to a bot. Like, I don't want that. I want human contact.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and I want to add. Oh, I'm sorry, Tina.
No, go ahead.
I want to add as a final thought as well to look at your overhead. So go through your bank statements for the last 3 months. It doesn't take as long as you think. Yes, there are going to be a lot of line items, but literally go through and check off the things that you need to cancel, what you need to add, and also take care of your mental health as well. So if you are, because I know, Barbara, you talked about brick and mortar. We didn't really get into that today. So some adjustments may come from people who do brick and mortar, moving into the online space. But even as you work at home, do you need to get out of your house into an office so that you're around people? Because a lot of us have been, stuck at home since the pandemic. Or do you need to get away from your office, cut some costs, and work from home? These are all things that you need to consider as far as finances go, as well as mental health.
I agree with that one.
You can speak more to that though, Starlight, because you do have a brick and mortar business and you have adapted to online. And I think a lot of people out there are wondering how to keep that business going with high costs, with high rents, with high interest rates, with high product costs. Like, how do you evolve in that? And I remember a friend of mine that ran a clothing store for many, 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 many years, finally started doing online sales. And within months, her online sales were way higher than any month that she'd ever had in walk-in sales from her clothing store. So how have you been able to adapt to that over the last year or two?
I'm still working on that. It's definitely a working process.
Totally.
2024.
The product that I sell, they like to touch and feel it. So pivoting more into e-commerce, I do get like a lot of kickback about that. So I'm still working through that as we speak. But I think it really depends on the products that you're selling. So in the lady that you mentioned, that was really good, a really good pivot for her. Also, I see a lot of people who do really well in e-commerce and then they open brick and mortar after. So every business is going to be a little bit different. And that's why, again, it's like really important that you track and measure everything that's happening. So you know where to put money. Do you need to put more money into specific ads? Are you going to be doing retargeting? Are you going to use apps on Shopify to help you bring more people in, offer coupon codes, have a nurture email sequence that's going to target them? There's so much that you really can do, but you have to know what's happening. You have to know the numbers. So yeah, there's definitely, I'm pivoting. A lot of people have to pivot and have had to pivot in 2023, but it's definitely a work in progress.
Well, there you have it, folks.
That's it.
I hope you got a lot out of today's episode.
Yeah. So one of the things, though, I did want to just close with is, some of you have been following us for a while, and then many catch the show later. They'll even reach out to me, even some clients that talk about, great episode. We're gonna continuously adapt and evolve in 2024. And so you see below here, follow, like, and share this, not just the show and maybe the episode if it resonated with you or your own audience, but just in social media, right? We're trying to build this out. And in addition to that, we're looking to feature people on our show. So we're constantly looking to interview. And then with each and every one of us, right? It's not, Uncensored Entrepreneurs, it's the conglomerate. It's what we're focused on. But each one of us are constantly looking to build, more collaborative partnerships. And so please connect with us in regards to that. We've got some really interesting things that we're going to be focusing on this year. And so we're looking for other JV partnerships. We're looking for sponsors. We're looking for other partners that want to be part of a mastermind this year. It didn't start off as quick as we wanted. We had a lot of things going on in life. But again, that's all about adapting your business and your journey. And so we're doing that not only for ourselves, but as again, a collaborative partnership as well. So we appreciate each and every one of you. Anyone else have any other closing remarks? Otherwise, we will see you. We're going to be back on week after week, and we look forward to serving you in a big way. So thank you.
Bye, guys. See you next week.
Bye.